This is my 4th video I'm filming today. Hey guys, let's talk about borderline. I do have a list of things I'm supposed to say over her. It's mostly just a reminder of what to remember to say. So if I'm looking over on the side, that is the reason for anyone who's new. For those who followed me for a while, you guys know I have bad memory, so I have to write this stuff down. And I have it on my computer. So let's get started. Let's talk about borderline. My name is Amanda, also known as Amateur Aries. I am a beauty guru and a mental health vlogger. So if you guys like both of those things, this is a place to come check out. I am schizophrenic with borderline personality disorder. Currently in the process to go to see a psychiatrist. Probably by the time this video is up, I've probably already seen her. Borderline personality disorder is what we're talking about today. I already put one video up, and then this is like the second half to it, but it's going to be a little bit shorter because this is the rest of the things I didn't get to say in that video because it's getting a little bit long. So let's first describe what borderline personality disorder is. I'm going to read it from that because I don't know how to properly describe it otherwise. Borderline personality disorder is a mental illness marked by an ongoing pattern of varying moods, self-image, and behavior. These symptoms often result in impulsive actions and problems in relationships. People with borderline personality disorder may experience intense episodes of anger, depression, and anxiety that can last from a few hours to days. Not everyone with borderline personality disorder experiences every symptom. Some individuals experience only a few symptoms, while others may experience many. Symptoms can be triggered by seemingly ordinary events. The severity and frequency of these symptoms and how long they last will vary depending on the individual and their illness. This definition is from nih.nih.gov. So let's start talking about the rest of the items that I didn't get to in the last video, which was like a month ago. Extremes. Okay, so I'm going to look down here to remember what I'm talking about, and then I'll describe my symptoms and how they react. All good or bad, black or white. Basically what they're saying is for individuals like me, it's either it's a good situation or it's a bad situation. A lot of times it's mostly bad situations. So say, let me try to figure out an example. Okay, it's one that bothers me all the time. If the internet goes down. Back when I was younger, when my borderline was really high, it's really high now, don't get me wrong, just on this particular subject, it was really high on this subject. If the internet went down, I freaked out. It was always a bad situation. There was tons of things I knew I could be doing on the side, like reading those books that I have piled up, or doing my homework, or playing that video game I never get to, or hanging out with family, or calling my friends, or the many other things I kept telling myself I should do, but I was always distracted with the internet. So if the internet went down, it wasn't like, okay, well, at least I can go do this and get some of these things done finally. It pulled me away. It's a freak out moment. I am freaking out. I can't believe this is happening. I'll be throwing a fit. I'll be yelling at whoever the hell it is need to fix the internet. And it will happen until the internet's back up. And I will continue doing that until the internet's back up. Now, it's not the same now. Matter of fact, now, if the internet is down, I'm usually the one telling Zach, calm down. Calm down. Now, he doesn't have a computer. He plays on the PlayStation all the time, and a lot of his games are online. So if the internet goes down, he flips out. If the internet goes down and we're watching Hulu or Funimation or Netflix, it's all rage, all hell on his side. And I'm just like, calm down, calm down. We got things we can be watching elsewhere. Or we got DVDs to be watching anyways. There's a reason why I purchase DVDs is for these times. So it's kind of like that in a lot of scenarios, or if not most scenarios. So, if the traffic is bad, I'm thinking to me like, shit, no, I'm not going to get any of this shit done, end of the world situation. I can't really think of a positive one, like, oh god, yeah, this happened, because, my other parts of borderline revolves around the negative sides, like, my self-image. Although I might look really pretty right now on camera, in the inside, what I'm thinking to myself is, God, I could really fix my face. I gotta better myself with makeup. I gotta get leaner or something like that. There's a lot of things going on in my brain that really shouldn't anymore. And that kind of coaxes the voices in my head. And they whisper those type of things. And, sorry, my hair is just like, I don't want to be here today. So that's where it leans to quite often. And it's kind of sad because then you got the normal people who are like, calm down, dude, it's not that bad. And you're thinking, it's the end of the world. Our opinions change on people quickly. Oh, God. This one hit me and made me probably the most confused in my life ever. I had this one friend who I had been friends with since 2nd grade. We were really close. She would sleep over often. We always did things together. We were just really good friends. And then one day in, I think, 7th grade, nothing happened. She didn't say anything mean to me. Just one day I snapped at her. I told her I didn't like her anymore, that I hated her, and I never wanted to speak to her again. And there was no reason at all that explained this sudden change in emotion. And after she would leave my presence, I was fine. Like, I was perfectly okay. I wasn't angry anymore. And I was questioning, why was I saying that? Why was I doing that? And I just became a nasty person every time I saw her. And every time she would leave, I wanted to go apologize. Like, I'm so sorry. I don't know where that came from. I would feel bad. Like, I felt instantly bad. Like, what the hell? But then when she would come back in the room, I was like, oh my God, I hate you so much. And just kind of situation. And that went on for like 2 years. Like, it just went on, and we were close friends. There was no given excuse, no given reason why all of a sudden I was so angry. Still to this day I can't describe it, but now that I know that I have borderline and I've learned about these symptoms, I'm like, this could literally ruin every relationship for me without my control. And that made me very sad, because this could happen possibly at any time in my relationship with Zach. Now, he's not my husband yet, but we've been together for 6 years and we consider each other husband and wife. We even have our wedding bands, because I purchased them and I made them like specifically and everything. We do plan on getting married one day, but we just consider ourselves husbands and wives because we've been together for 6 years. It's not documentation. I just feel terrible if one day my boyfriend's like, you don't like him anymore. You don't want to be near him anymore. You just, every time you see him, you want to hate on him. And it petrifies me. This next one is actually really real for me on a different grounds than what my family would say. Avoiding real or imagined abandonment, such as being extremely intimate or cutting off communication. Mine isn't very sexual. I had to write this down because I forgot. Mine isn't very sexual, but I do show signs of obsessive and get paranoid super easily, though I've grown a little bit from this since my teens. I've turned to cutting myself from reality and people instead. Now, I wrote that down because I knew that when I would read that, if I didn't write that down, I would forget everything that I should be saying about my experiences. Because when I think of my imagined abandonment, I think about all the times I was abandoned, and I just think about that and not the other side of it, which is what I wrote down. This is going to be embarrassing to say, but I feel like I should say it. It feels right. I suffered from friendship abandonment. What I mean by that is a lot of my friends just up and stopped being friends with me. They walked off or they moved away, and before they moved away, they just said to me, I don't want to be friends with you. Or I literally had a friend who came out to me and said, I don't want to be your friend anymore. And she stopped talking to me, and it literally broke my heart. I was 9 years old, and she was the closest friend I've ever had at that time period. When I first moved here from, moved down to Florida from Wisconsin, she was the first friend I had. We lived close by, so I was always at her house, and this one day, I don't want to be a friend anymore. Didn't give me a reason, stopped talking to me, locked me out of her house, threw all my shit on her land. And it was so sudden, and it broke my heart. And friendships after that, I grew really attached to. If I had a friend, I grew attached to them. I didn't really sleep over their houses anymore. I became kind of afraid of staying at people's houses. I thought that would make them get away from me in some way. Like, they didn't want me to stay at their houses. But I became obsessive with wanting to protect them over myself and wanting to protect their feelings, and that kind of led people away from me too. So I had a lot of abandonment issues when it came to friends. Now, family is a little bit different. I wasn't abandoned by my family. There were situations in my life with my brother, not sexual, where it's kind of abusive, but not sexually. It was other abuse. And every time I would go running to my parents for help when they got home because he had to babysit me, they just said, well, you need to start listening to your elders. Well, you're just lying, because I was a little 6-year-old girl or a little 7-year-old or 8 or 9-year-old girl what would I would know over my older brother who's 6 years older than me. And I went through starvation whenever he would babysit me. It was just really bad. And my brother's my half-brother, so my dad was always trying to please my brother because it was his son, and his son had anger at him because he felt like my dad chose this side of the family over his side, which he lived normally up in Wisconsin, but he'd come down and visit like every summer. He put the resentment on me, which I'm the love child between mother and father kind of situation. So happened, and that made me feel like I was abandoned by my parents when I needed them most at that time period. And because of that, I grew up not wanting to tell them anything. Like, I didn't want to tell them about my schizophrenia or the voices in my head. I didn't want to tell them I was feeling suicidal. I didn't want to tell them that I was looking into girls instead of guys. I didn't want to tell them any of that stuff because I just flat out didn't trust them. And whenever I would talk to them about something serious like that, I noticed there's like, and then they wouldn't really say anything. They wouldn't say, oh, well, how does that make you feel? One that better understands anything. They didn't really compliment the conversation to make me feel like I was getting anywhere. So in those ways, I felt like I was neglected and abandoned, but I wasn't really neglected or abandoned in any other ways. So I'm gonna get that straight. For relationship-wise, I've had a lot of relationships. I've had 26 to 27 relationships. Most of them are online, and a lot of people are half and half about whether or not those are real relationships. Know that the people who are getting into relationships or online are feeling those feelings for someone. They are getting hurt by those feelings. They are feeling love from those feelings. So remember that when I'm discussing this. A lot of them were online. Quite a small few of them were actually in real life. Most of them cheated on me. Most of them left me for other people, and it left me in a stump. Like, what did I do? Am I not pretty enough? Am I not good enough? And it just, it left me hard. Zach, on the other hand, has been with me for 6 years, and we've gone through some hellish shit. Let me get started on that. In some ways, he did kind of abandon me. I was going through episodes. Instead of helping me through those episodes, he would choose his friends over me and hang out with his friends or go drinking with them or something like that. And now he's grown out of that, so he's not that person anymore. I still feel that in a relationship a lot. And whenever I'm afraid that he will leave me, which he's left me once before, again, that was a long time ago, I get scared and paranoid and freak out, and I try to be more loving to him than I should be. I should be respecting myself kind of situation. I'm not going to explain those particular, but I always put him over myself at that time, which it should have been the other way around. Like, I shouldn't go through this kind of situation. A lot of times when I'm not feeling that way, I cut myself away from the world. Like, I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to be friends with people. I'm terrified of being friends with people because I'm afraid those friends are just going to up and leave me, or call me ugly, or call me stupid, or call me selfish, and all these other things that I've heard from some people. And it's just painful to have to go through that. So basically, I don't really have friends after moving up here in Georgia. I haven't met anyone, and the friends that I talk to here in Georgia are Zach's friends from work, and he takes me everywhere because he likes to keep an eye on me now with my episodes because they've gotten pretty bad, and he just likes to be around me. He thinks that after those situations with his friends, when he started bringing me along with him to hang out with his friends, he noticed that his friends liked me better. Because when I'm around other people, I become really happy, and I start doing kind of like funny jokes, and it kind of just livened up their conversations, which usually were depressed. Like, oh man, I wish I could go back in the army, because that's what some of his friends were, doing, which I respect. But it was really depressing for both of them, because they just kind of sat in those times where they could talk about it with me, but then I would bring them out into happier times. Like, well, at least you got this and this and this, and you can be happy, and you served a good time, and you did things good for the stuff like that. Because I'm always trying to be positive around other people. When I'm by myself, it's kind of the opposite. I think people get like that. But that is all. I'm sorry that I ranted about that, but at least you guys know some of my experience. And that is all I can talk about borderline. I really don't know what else to bring up about it. Like I had mentioned in the first borderline one, it's not like schizophrenia, where schizophrenia has hallucinations and delusions and all these other things you can literally categorize. Borderline is kind of a mix-up of all of them in emotion-wise, and it's really hard to describe. So if you have any questions or you want me to do a video on anything particular about my mental disorders, feel free to tell me, because I'm literally running out of ideas now. This is like the last one I could think of I could talk about. I mean, I've had other delusions I should be talking about. I just keep forgetting to write them down. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, this also is a beauty channel. I really do not care for the comments that I get where they say, I'm only on here for the mental health ones. Can you stop doing beauty ones? I really do not care for that. Please stop. This was originally a beauty channel. I was not planning on it becoming a mental health one. I just felt one day that was right to do it. So, this is a beauty channel, and this is a mental health channel. So please remember, it coincides with each other. Do not tell me to stop doing one over the other. Otherwise, you're not a true subscriber, and I don't appreciate that. So I hope you guys like this video. Like again, like, comment, and subscribe. If there's any questions, if you want me to do any particular things, tell me so I can figure out what I'm doing next for my mental health ones, because I really don't know what to talk about next. If you have any questions for me for questions and answers in the future, tell me also, and I'll try to write down a list, because I would like to do questions and answer for you guys. But I'm never on Twitter, and no one really follows me on Twitter, so I figured I want to do it on Twitter. So just do it down below and say, for your question and answers video, here are a few that I have, and I'll start saving up a few, and I'll write down your names, and I'll answer them for you, okay? I hope you guys like this. Bye! Mwah!